Yeah, have you noticed if you're hanging out with certain people or are in a certain environment, you notice how the frequency and the vibration of that situation affects you deeply. You could be doing your sadhana and you're doing your meditation, you're feeling good, but then somebody calls, and then you're it's like the devil angel thing. Something knows inside, like, man, I shouldn't go out and be in that situation because, like, it's not nourishing. Like, why am I gonna go do that? Every time I do that, I get some dopamine hits at first, and then afterwards, it's like I lose I'm not in the height of my being anymore. I like dropped. Vibration went down. And you're sensitive enough, you feel that. And you don't like the contrast. You just want to stay high. Can't stay high all the time, by the way, so yeah. I don't like the idea of like a one and you're done awakening, because it don't exist. But you get to where you're vibing high more than you're not. And that keeps increasing forever. So you notice when they say you have this conflict inside. A lot of people that pay more attention when that conflict like goes off. Most they just go into some mechanical stage. Oh yeah, they're not even aware really of the feeling, saying like, why are you doing this? It's there like in the background somewhere, but they pay more attention to the urge to go do it because they're used to doing that, and they're feeling maybe their mind's making them feel a little bored. They want a little excitement, so they go do it. Pay attention to that, and then choose wisely. And then you're probably, even though when you start paying attention to it, something's going to want to still go out and do it. That's cool. Go do that. You can call that self-sabotage. I used to self-sabotage like all the time. I'd be going out. I'd tell the people I'm with, I'm like, I'm self-sabotaging by hanging out with you. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's all good. Had to go through that karma. I had to like experience that. But the real antidote to everything is you be conscious. Consciousness, and Osho tried to point to that when somebody or a lot of people asked him about like, how do you quit smoking? He says, don't try to quit. He gave a more funny example when somebody asked him, how do we quit? I want to quit murdering people. Something feels like I want to stop doing that. He says, don't stop. He says, just do this. Next time you do it, just be conscious when you're doing it. Be conscious of yourself, be conscious of the person, and see if like, do you want to keep doing that? And he did that, and he stopped. Yeah, he stopped his habit. Is it a true story? I doubt it. But he applied that to smoking also. You can apply it to anything. You just be conscious. And then you let sometimes the slow wheels of evolution do its thing. And then you'll come out of it. You'll transcend it. But it won't be a renunciation. Like, see, this is important. It won't be like, oh, I shouldn't do this because like the Bible tells me not to. Or it's like not morally acceptable, or my teacher says this is bad, so I'm gonna like I'm gonna make myself not do it. It's like holding the spring down. Spring's gonna come up because it's not organic. When you're conscious though, this is the difference between Tantra versus the more ascetic teachings. Ascetics all about no, hold the spring down. And you keep holding it down, and at some point you'll be free of it. It never worked for me. For those renunciant type, the mentality, if it works for you, cool. I don't think they're going to be watching my channel. Tantra says, go drink the poison, but be conscious when you drink it. See how it feels when it's being digested and assimilated and you're throwing up. Just keep doing that. And then you'll come out of it. Don't put a time limit on it. This is the other thing. See, the mind starts looking at your watch and saying, well, I'm being conscious, but like I'm not free of it. And I keep suffering because I'm doing it. Why can't I be free of it? Nobody can answer those questions. I alluded to that in another video. Like, you have to be willing to suffer a little bit. Didn't Buddha say, like, life is suffering? That's what he's talking about. Real transformation, especially if something has clicked in you and you want to wake up to your true nature, yeah, man, hang on. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate. There's nothing in the world of form or creation that's as profound or creates as much friction and tension as somebody who really wants to wake up to their true nature. So understand, because then all your karmas are going to start to come up, all your hidden vasanas and dark tendencies and things that you don't know about. Your subconscious is starting to become more conscious now. So yeah, there's going to be a grind inside. Accept that, flow with that. That's how you get through it, not by fighting it, not by looking for some special technique, not by like, oh, I heard if I went to the Satguru's Shiva Lingam thing, that consecration, oh, I heard if I go there, everything will be okay. That's the mind. Or if I go dip in the Ganga, I'm gonna go jump in the Ganga, heal all my problems. Oh, look, there's testimonies. People say it works. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Yeah, there's no shortcut. I mean, go do it to see that it don't work. If you got to do that, but there's no, anytime that's, by the way, all this these testimonies, man, there's so much, they're tripping. Okay, follow them and see a year later, see if they're still, oh, I'm awake now. Those of you who aren't so superficial, who the mind can't manipulate so easy, see, those things don't work for you. Because there's too much depth. You can't lie to yourself. So what I was going to say, if there's some true miracle like that happens, it's not because of the place. It's not because like, oh, they touched me on my forehead. No, it's because grace made it like that. You could have tripped over a banana peel and the same thing could have happened. It's just the divine play wanted to take that particular form. You see, this is a movie. We need set dressing, and so the part of the play is okay, go over here, and then hang from the tree for 5 minutes, and then you go and you prostrate to this shrine, and I got awake, and so then you try to sell that recipe to somebody else. No, that's just your play. That's how it happened. We all have our own individual, tailor-made destiny and script for waking up. So, man, what's the topic? Oh, we're talking about friends and environment. So, yeah, I got off, didn't I? So you can't control when you're in those vibrations. Just pay attention. Can you retain this more higher state that let's say you previously had? No, you're absorbing those frequencies. This whole life's a frequency game and a chemistry game. You're absorbing those frequencies because you're there and you're paying attention and you're engaging in this level of conversation that they're having. Look, if it's high level, of course, but we're not talking about that. I remember I was selling cars when I was in California. Man, that sucked. Everybody would have to stand at this point. There's like 10 salesmen. Whichever car is starting to come in, whoever calls it first gets the customer. Yellow car coming in, see? And then they come in, and then you try to sell them a car. But the conversations that went down when we're waiting for the next customer to come, man, it's just so low level. And they're guys, and they're all addicts, so you can imagine what they're talking about. They like to talk about girls a lot, and not yogini types. So that would suck. But okay, I guess this is the point for saying that. You may find you're in a certain situation, a work environment, family, whatever, that you can't do anything about. How do I get out of this situation? There's not an answer for that. That's your karma. It's the same when I was selling cars. I had to bear that for a while. You have to see that there's some training that's happening. You may not be aware of it, it doesn't matter. There's training, otherwise you wouldn't be there. That's going to help you later somehow. You have to trust that, and you just be as open as you can inside and pray and ask God to put you in something that's more matching. In the meantime, you just deal with it. But if you're in a situation where there is some volitional choice of going to be in a situation that's low vibrational versus not, this is where you have to exercise your power of discernment. Because, well, you'll see. Look, you're going to do all this anyway at some point. I'm just sharing what you're going to do, but maybe it helps accelerate things if you're like on the cusp of getting ready to do it. Then I'm saying what you already know, and that gives you a little oomph to go do it, because it doesn't match. Why mix a higher frequency with the lower frequency if you don't have to? Now, if you have to, I made a video about that. You can have coffee with the devil without losing your awakening. That's a good one. I'm going to make another one I'm going to make a fun one. I'm not going to tell you the title yet. If God wants you in that situation, universal power will assist you. Be sure God wants you in that situation. And it's not just your ego trying to be in that situation to get a dopamine hit and get some excitement. That's the difference. All right, let me know how you like that.